I help organizations, mostly individuals, understand and adopt AI into their operations. A little bit about my background. Um, I started in IT, computers back in the 80s. 80s, like 86, 88. I've been doing this since I was a kid. And I started with just IBM PCs and just kind of evolving with the technology. I've had an IT consulting company for 25 years. And in that, I also did a lot of business solutions. So helping people connect the dots for the organization. Mainly because, I guess since I have a lot of empathy, to help people understand what they're going through and then present solutions to them. Now that I think about it, all my clients have always been very much, have leaned on me quite a bit to get them through situations by connecting the technology to what their overall goals are. So it's just been kind of what I've done, whether it's email, websites, marketing, what have you. And so for the past couple of years now, a little over that, I made a natural evolution into AI and understanding what it does and helping others apply it. And that means everybody from the dog walking business to the marketer, to the financial planner, anybody can really use AI in their life. We were just talking about potentially building, not formulas, but inspiration for creating custom soaps and lotions. And I met someone who was creating their own, but taking inspiration from other products, finding what was in the market, having ChatGPT say, I want to create this for myself, give me the formula. And say basically 2 parts this, 3 parts that, and now you have something. So the ability to have inspiration and personal products, not commercial products, it can be very helpful. And even if you are making a commercial product though, the ability to use AI for research to build that product is very helpful. So today I've spoken to a few people about their AI experience. I've got an understanding a little bit about the room and the professionals that are in here. A lot of solo professionals, a lot of people who provide services. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, needs marketing in some way or another and is trying to improve, as you mentioned, Tiffany, which is the most important thing for us nowadays, is your social media presence. And so using AI right now to really help you do that, not do for you, is really important. I just started with a new client, thanks to Annie. I don't know if Amy told you, but we've already started. I'm actually meeting with her Monday. And for her specifically, it's about building out her social media campaign. And what she wants to do is to take her, she has a senior healthcare services and therapy business, referrals and sending therapists out to individuals' homes. But she wants to use her IG and LinkedIn just to get better reach. Because the truth is, I've gotten more business from referrals and social network connections than any of my Google ads or any of my paid ads. Like, it's ridiculous, painful, but ridiculous to find out that you can get more from just connecting with people and sharing what you do and the value that you bring. And so as I'm working with Annie right now with Mobilize Now, so part of what we're doing today, as a matter of fact, this afternoon, we're going to be covering essentially the services that she offers, what it means to her customers, and how we can connect the dots so that we can provide content that resonates with the potential buyers that makes sense. And then connect that, creating the content that has the right call to action that's based on research. And then showing her how to use that content to then post to LinkedIn, which will be completely different than what will go on Instagram and completely different than Facebook. And even with Amy, with Amy, what I'm doing is I'm introducing a tool, Hootsuite. Does anybody here know what Hootsuite is?
Yes.
So for those who do not know, it is a platform that allows you to post to multiple social media platforms in one place. So making the process simpler, faster, and the ability to schedule it. So you can create like a week's, a month's worth of content and spend one day, and now you're active every day on your social network. So AI allows you to do that, to get things done quickly. Take your idea, maintain your inspiration, and bring it all the way through so you have a complete package. And so those are the kind of things that AI can do when used properly. It's a tool. It will not replace anybody. It will replace tasks. It will replace processes. It will make things better. But just like the internet has an email, before you have to call everybody, or maybe send them a letter, you were fine with that. And And then they found out, I could just send them an email. When we got text messaging, our minds went crazy. Because now we have instant gratification. It'll take a while for us to kind of get used to that. But now we can't live without it. We want it even faster if we can get it. But that's kind of how AI is. When you can understand how to use it as a tool, then you start to say, what can I do with it? And so today, as I said, I want to take your questions, your concerns, your thoughts, your ideas, bring them up, I'll answer them, and I'll do the best I can. So, who wants to go first?
So we're really talking about ChatGPT and
Yes.
how to utilize it.
Yes.
And what it can do for your company. Because you and I had met and you came up with these ideas that I never really thought that could help me in my business. So, we were talking about even building my website.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? And I think maybe you can just tell them what you told me about that, just because I think that was really important.
All right, that's great. Thanks for that, Tiffany. So Tiffany and I met last week, and we were discussing how can she improve kind of everything, the website, servicing the group better, providing better value to the group, just so you know she really cares.
She does.
She really does care. And this is not, we spent probably a good half an hour just talking about why the group exists, which is about bringing the connections together, which is what she said. And so what we were discussing is, well, how can you communicate that to those who you have not already been in front of? Well, where'd you come from? Yeah, so we were talking about how to communicate that message and understand what it means, but also bring structure to the group to deliver more value to the group. So we were talking about using ChatGPT for ideation. So ideation, if you don't already know, it's just the concept of building an idea. You can have inspiration, but you don't really know what to do next. So what we're talking about is, okay, so we're going to charge, how can we provide structure that delivers value? All right, now we need to get a website that has certain services. Well, by default, she's like, listen, I'm not a techie, I'm a photographer. I make people smile, say cheese, and capture that moment, not a tech. So, this is one of the really important things that everybody needs to know about ChatGPT, primarily, is the ability to bridge your skill gaps. Now, what that means is you can use ChatGPT to show you how to do something. And I mean, everything. Everything. You can have it improve your performance, what you know about it, your comfort level, the ability to say, walk me through something step by step, because I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm uncomfortable. So by having ChatGPT walk you through the steps, and so very specifically we're talking about something like a WordPress website. WordPress is a content management system. Most of you who go on the websites don't realize that it's on WordPress. But if you want to, it's a very quick and easy way to put up a website and manage the content, blogs, update your pages, your services. And so to have a membership group page website, that's on the timeline for Tiffany. But it was sort of one of those ones that was like, I don't know if we're going to go down that road because it's technical. But she knows she needs it. So we're discussing.
It's super expensive to have someone do it.
That's the other thing. Super expensive. So we were talking at the minimum on $2,500. And if you ever had to have something built by somebody, it always takes twice as long. Probably costs you twice as much. And you wish you didn't hire them to do it in the first place. Years of this. So I was introducing to Tiffany that, listen, you can, for one, first of all, I said you can have this done in a weekend. Having ChatGPT say, or go to ChatGPT and say, I want to build a WordPress website. And I want to get a template to do so. This is what my website is about. What do I do? And they can go right from the very beginning. Well, we want to find a template that might work. Or, I'm sorry, maybe a foundation like WordPress or maybe a GoDaddy hosting site. But when you decide your platform, it will walk you through. How do I make the decision? You factor in cost. You factor in technical abilities. You factor in whether they have limitations on how much you can upload. These are the kinds of details they can provide for you. So now you can make an educated decision. Not just a name you've heard before, but now you can say, well, listen, I have a lot of data. I have a lot of videos. I need something that can take 250, 500 gig worth of content, and it won't charge me. Because you'd be surprised. They'll say, oh, this is free. Well, you only get 100 meg of information, which is fine if you have a billboard website, which is just information. But if you want to have content on there, that's going to take up space. So you want to know these things before you go down the path. Another thing I just came across was if you want to sell stuff, how you process your merchant services. You can list an event, but how are you going to charge for it? How do you connect it? Walking you through those steps is what ChatGPT can do. Again, making the decision, implementing it, customizing it, creating the content, product descriptions, pricing suggestions. I've closed some of my most interesting deals in a way where approaching the deal, I was totally intimidated because I had not done it before. I didn't really know how to approach the pricing. I'll get very transparent with you. It was an AI project, and I knew it was going to cost a lot. So when I was going through this initially, I did the math in my head. I said, okay, this should be around $7,500. So then I started working with ChatGPT. This is what I got to do. How should I charge for this? How should I bill for this? And then I said, well, how much are you charging an hour? Or which hourly rate? And I did that. It was like, okay, we'll start doing the math. It had me at $12,000. I was like, that does make a lot of sense. I do like that number a lot better. But I was like, how do you get there? Like, how do I even do this right now?
So you're literally talking to your
I'm literally
talking to ChatGPT.
I'm engaging with it.
Putting the questions
Yes.
in on the computer that
I
are such
don't know
stupid
what
questions.
to charge right now.
That's right, but like, I want to make sure people understand.
I want to
what-
pitch in because I'm going to give our example if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we put into ChatGPT, right? Create a marketing plan to help grow my eyewear business. How many days we wanted of the plan,
Yeah.
right? And it literally in 2 minutes, less a minute.
A minute,
It
yeah.
created like a 30-day marketing plan that was so on point to everything that I needed. It was ridiculous. Then the posting, right? Whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's the flyers I send out to my clients for them to share in facilities of like, this is the flyer for the pop-up, go ahead and post it. I said, ChatGPT, make me a flyer that's senior related. We do eyeglass repairs, we do eyeglass adjustments, we sell new glasses. And it literally made me the best flyer, like in a minute. Then I spent probably an hour making my janky other flyer that I was sending out. Like, it's
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
very empowering. No, thank you for sharing it. Yes.
I have a question about visual content and rights usage because I understand there are limitations on that.
Mhm.
So if you are a business and you're profiting from imagery that you're utilizing, how are you able to access content that you have license and rights to?
So, great question. A very common question, one that has been addressed. So, for those who didn't hear, the question was about copywriting and content, and because Annie mentioned creating an image, the question was basically, can I put that out there into the world and monetize it or receive business off of it? Am I understanding correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so the answer to that is, one, when you use tools like DALL-E, which is an image generation tool within ChatGPT, it's creating that in the moment. It may reference a bunch of things, but you cannot say, give me a Coca-Cola ad and put it on my car and give me an image with me in it driving through San Francisco. It won't give you that. It'll say Coca-Cola or something, but it won't say Coca-Cola. It'll look very similar.
So it's smart enough to not.
Well, not just smart enough, but built into the back end is the inability to create licensed material. So it won't create something like, I can't create a face.
So wait, so you're saying what you get is licensed and you don't need
Well-
to worry about it being copyrighted?
I'm saying that what you're getting is what's called, what's the term for a rights-free, what is it? Royalty-free. It's royalty-free content. Thank you. So when you go through the process, I actually met a guy who does skateboards with the really cool wheels, but his thing is he puts art on there. And so when I saw him at one of the street fairs, I was immediately drawn to the artwork because I recognized it. I recognized the style from ChatGPT.
Oh,
Yeah, totally. I was like, ah, I recognize that.
well then.
So I asked him, because he had a Hot Wheels partnership. The wheels on the skateboards were Hot Wheels. So I'm like, you have something official here. And I see this. And so I asked him the same question. He said, oh yeah, this is my inspiration. Put a guy, a ninja on a skateboard with a bag full of lollipops jumping over a pool. That's his unique idea. When it creates it, it may come out doing an ollie, it may come up sideways and it come up backwards. But he has the ability to control that final output and what he uses. So in that moment, he is creating it. Just like Photoshop can go through and say, take this from blue to a fade from white to blue, that same process is the same thing that's being, or the same way to look at when he says, make the skateboard, or make the guy in the skateboard, give him an overcoat. Nah, put him in a swimsuit. Nah, put him in a Santa Claus outfit. That's you. And so that's what makes it royalty free, because you're creating, and it's your inspiration. Same thing with any content you create. I can create a book. Make me a book about Peter Pan. Now it's not going to give me the exact book, but it can give me a book based on that character.
What if I put my photo in that I wanted the ChatGPT to use? Would it take my photo of me and utilize it, or is now my photo in there royalty free?
Great question. If you upload anything of yours, a photo, a screenshot of something that you're working on, in case you're needing to get, how do I do this? Take a screenshot. I've taken pictures of things and said, what is this? I just had it happen last week where I was pulled into my old IT world, had to go look at a Mac, and I didn't have the immediate answers. I was like, hey, can you bring up the system info? Took a screenshot. I took a picture. ChatGPT, what are my options? It was able to immediately interpret everything about this machine. It had a serial number, it had the model number, and it looked it up. And so while I'm standing there talking to him, I need memory upgrades, 16 gig sticks, and a 1 terabyte SSD drive. Got it. So while I'm talking to him, I'm able to say, I have a 20% markup so I can give him a price. All right, explain it to him. 2.5 hours, yada, yada, yada. But in that moment, I was able to get that done as I'm walking out. This is no joke. Okay, I need to put this into a proposal for him by email. Let him know it was great to see him today, and send it to him right away. Created the draft. I changed a couple things. He got his name wrong. Then sent it. Before I got to the car. So this is the kind of empowerment that allows you to do. Otherwise, I would have to wait till I get back home, and hopefully I do when I get home. You know what I'm saying? Like scheduling, busy, all that kind of stuff. It saved me time. And it gave me information right away. It answers your question about if you upload an image of yourself. When you upload any of those things, I'm not going to say it doesn't keep it, because I don't work there. But what I will tell you is that image is not going to show up anywhere else. I can't say, give me an image of Tiffany Mortensen, and it bring up that one you did. Now it may bring up any public images that you have out there.
But so say I put a picture of a kid with a balloon, and somebody said I need a photo of a kid with a balloon. That's part of its library.
No, that's not how it works. What it would do though is train on that. So you've all heard the term training, or many of you have heard trainee, right? So what training is when it says, you said this is a kid with a balloon, okay? Now that's one of about 2 million examples of a kid with a balloon. That's training, which is why the ChatGPTs, they update. They just now updated to, is it December? I think December 2024. So now if you were to ask ChatGPT without using the web search, anything that you ask it, like say a tax law, you might say, what is the current, not the current, what is the tax law of this scenario? It's going to reference up until December of 2024. Now, you could say, because things coming after January 1st, what's the current law? And in that moment, it will search. You can even isolate where it searches. So it doesn't just go to somebody's blog who says, yeah, I don't think it should be this, and we should be able to drive without a seatbelt and go 120 miles an hour, which I'm fine with. But if somebody were to say that, that would not show up. If you were to say, I need you to only reference the IRS website, the California government website. So if you have to use very specific research, by default, it's going to try to give you everything it can think of that you might want, right? Because it's just trying to be a good assistant. But you have to say, and this is one of my favorite analogies, you don't even have to be a parent to understand this. But if you ever had a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and you said, all right, Timmy, I need you to go upstairs, get your blue jacket, come downstairs, get in the car so we can go to Disneyland. Timmy's like, what? Run upstairs. Now we all know Timmy's gonna probably stop at his Hot Wheels. Or he's gonna start to do something else. He may just get totally distracted. May come down with no jacket, just excited. So parents understand you gotta be patient. If you just say, oh, Timmy doesn't listen, and go get it yourself, that's not gonna help. Hey Timmy, okay, I need you to get your blue jacket. It's hanging on your chair. You wanna go to Disneyland, right? Go get it. Then they go up again, come back, orange sweater. Ah, so close. You know the blue jacket, your favorite blue jacket. Come on, let's go get it. And then you may even walk up to halfway the stairs. No, that's not the one. But ultimately, Timmy will come down. And then, in the future, blue jacket, I got it. He understands. Get the blue jacket, go to Disney, get in the car, see what on. Gets better and better every time. That's kind of how ChatGPT works. When you want to give it commands and you want something back from it, you have to be very specific and patient. And you might have to change up how you say it. Okay, not the blue jacket, maybe it's the Cookie Monster jacket. Get the Cookie Monster jacket. Oh, okay, now I know what you mean. And then go get it. But at the end of the day, you want to give Timmy the right, because Timmy wants to do the right thing. Timmy just needs to be instructed properly. That's how ChatGPT is, and getting the right responses out of it. So I know I went past that, but did I answer your question about uploading a photo?
You did.
Okay. And so one thing about uploading photos, this is actually very, very important too, because it can help you all out quite a bit. Whether you're uploading, like say you find something you're inspired by, a different ad. I'm just asking someone, Amy, if you see somebody out there who has a social media presence that you like, you see a post that really resonated with you, you receive an email like, man, they almost got me to buy that bridge in Brooklyn. Because it came out so well. It was so eloquent. You may say, you know what, I'm gonna save this. And I'm gonna reuse this for myself. So you can now take that and say, hey ChatGPT, I received this email. I wanna reach out to my audience and I wanna get them to do this. Here's who they are, here's how I wanna send it, but I want this style. Do it. Let's make it funny. Let's make it timely. It's Valentine's Day. Put a joke in there. But you can take your inspiration and use it to build new things. And with images, specifically with the bridge gapping, skill bridge gapping, or anything, if I'm troubleshooting something, the ability to take a screenshot of what you're doing and or copy and paste what's on the screen. The ability to take a screenshot, put that in ChatGPT and say, what's this? Or what's wrong? Why am I getting an error? Or you keep telling me to look for this. This is what I see. I'm referencing the old model of the old version of their website. They may have moved the feature. I've had this happen a lot. Just this morning, I'm trying to place a logo on invoices. Where do I find this? Oh, yeah, it's over here. Yes.
So what if you just use free ChatGPT compared to pay? I don't even know how much it is because mine's just on free.
Great question. So there are 3 tiers of publicly accessible / purchasable types of accounts within ChatGPT. First one's a free one. You get access to almost all the available tools, just a limited amount of interactions. I think it's about 10 interactions with certain models. The ones like 4.0, I think it's more, you can get more. Also I'm not sure about memory. And that memory is important when you're working on something, you want to come back to it. I definitely know you can't do things like projects, which are really important, or building GPTs. And then I know you can access like the newest model of 03. 03 version of ChatGPT is one for very advanced reasoning. So if you talk about building a campaign, we can not just build a campaign, a marketing campaign, but we can say, I want everything in it. I want a LinkedIn post, Facebook post, I want a couple blog posts, I want ideas on podcast episodes, and whatever else I can think of, but the 03 can then take that longer thought and reason through it and provide a much longer, detailed response.
So you can probably do projects in there is what you're saying, and it remembers, like I know when I do the free, but when I go in there and if I'm in an open open window,
Mhm.
it'll maintain the thought of what I'm asking for
Yes.
as I go down, but I don't know if it remembers when I open another one the next day, or I open another,
Right.
window.
So when you open up a
It'll
new
keep your
conversation,
prompts. It'll
Yeah.
keep your history of prompts.
yeah, what
As
keep
long as
it,
you're signed in.
it'll keep your conversation. Well, you have
Because
to.
it's your account, he has
Yeah.
to know that it's your account, so then your prompts will come up of what you've done in the past, and you can always go back to that and
Okay. I
change
never
them.
played with it
Change
enough.
things.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always just do rewrite, make it fun, make it shorter, wait, make it longer, you know,
And that's
like
good.
more professional or.
And those are excellent starter cases. You know, just like Tiffany said, I'll probably use that on probably every email that I send out. As a matter of fact, this morning I was sending out one, and now this is what I'll do. I'll type out what I'm thinking. Clean this up.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I've actually been upset, like, where's the money? And they're like, listen, we're going to just say, pay us when you can. And I'm like, you know what, that probably sounds a lot better because I was too emotional in the moment. And it's caught so many of those. Not to mention, I've actually had it, this is also very important. Last night I'm working on a project and the client sends me feedback. And I was like, what is he saying right now? Like, I got the words, but I just didn't really, it was troubling me. ChatGPT, first of all, ChatGPT, this is what I sent. You already helped me create the email. But this is what I sent, the final version of what I sent, and he responded with this. Here are my thoughts. But am I getting this? Am I missing something? Is he saying something that I'm not? Oh, this is another thing. I was talking to someone about transcripts. So I record all our conversations. Annie knows this. I was talking to Manny about why I record. And I don't even got to answer you when I was talking to you about this. No, I can't. So I record my transcript on my conversations. First of all, let everybody know. And we have to sign disclaimer. But I record them all so that I can be engaged in the moment. But then I can also find things that I forget, or just make sure I interpret, or how do I connect that to this? And in this scenario, the client has a bunch of specific requests / demands, but there's a limitation in the available technology. And so as I'm at this point of like, I've already proposed another alternative way to go about it, and they didn't want that. So I must now, ChatGPT said, well, you can either insist on the new way, explain to him the current technology and the limitations based on that, or some other solution that I didn't consider. So I said, all right, you know what? I just let him know I'm going to look into it. I'm going to continue to look into the problem and see if I can find a solution. But ChatGPT was able to interpret what they said. I made sure I didn't just send something that was like, man, you crazy. You got to think about this again. It helped me work through it, interpret it, and come up with a better response. So it's not just create, but also understand. Especially for those of you who, I think there's a couple people here in the construction business, but when you're having to like apply for projects, you got RFPs and RFQs, they can be pages long. And oftentimes are referencing other compliances or other projects or other needs, insurance requirements. So to have ChatGPT upload that RFP document, PDF, and then say, what do I need to apply for this? And then Canvas has the ability to, this is a tool within ChatGPT, where you can command, but it literally gives you a canvas, like in the art form. You have a white canvas to the side, and then you build what you want there. So say I want to apply for this quote, about send submit a proposal. It's saying it needs 25 bits of information. I've uploaded it. I've given it information about who we are as a company. Just fill this in. Give me the completed response that I need. I'm not going to just trust that first version. I'm going to cross-reference. I even have it cross-reference. Is this everything? And so making sure that I have it, it's in the right format, length, all that. Again, connecting the abilities to get things done. So I can go on and on about what it can do. I'm not sure where we are for time.
If you want to take some questions, see what.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anybody has any
I think the
questions.
Canvas is a little more advanced than people might not
Yes,
understand that at this point. But
Yeah,
like,
we can
I think people have
discuss that at
questions.
different time if anybody has a question. He's the first, I'll come back to you next, yes.
Question, you mentioned ChatGPT specifically, but there is other platforms like WhatsApp have metadata,
She's like,
Facebook,
is it
Samsung, iPhone, they have their own.
Yes.
Is there a difference?
Absolutely. That's a great question, by the way. So, then also I went and inserted it into their AI-powered stuff. So all the different AI tools that exist, Claude, Perplexity, Meta, Grok, they all have different abilities and are used in different ways. Some of them are just images, some of them are reasoning, some of them are just kind of like helping you with research. Meta specifically, Facebook product, it's more meant to almost be like an assistant for basic communications, like through your social networks. You can engage it and say, you know, how do I make grape juice, or, you know, what's the best way to put out a fire? They give you answers like that. So that's one of those things where it's powerful, but there's not very many business practical uses. The ones that are generally used for business, ChatGPT for getting things done and figuring things out and doing research. Perplexity is the #1 research chat engine. Perplexity. Claude is the best one for sounding like human. It's also good at reasoning. What I would often do is take what I've had ChatGPT give me, and we were talking about Grammarly, or not Grammarly, but the ability to detect if something is AI generated. Well, for someone like me who's been doing this for so long, I can almost immediately tell. However, I'll take something I got over here, copy it into Claude. Claude, humanize this for me. And then I'll say, maintain all the important information, just make it nicer. And then it will actually sound more like a conversational, or whatever the tone I want it to be. So this is where having a stack, again, what I'm going to be going over with Annie, is identifying your stack. You'll do research over here, you create your content over here, you may want to remix your content over here. So there are different tools, different skills that they offer, and different things they specialize in, and different costs. The 3 tiers for ChatGPT: free, $20 a month. $20 a month one gives you the ability to have ChatGPT not train on your data. So important if you're uploading anything you've got personal information on and you just don't want the world to know about. The paid version is what allows you to get the $20 a month version. Ironically, the $200 a month does not do this. It allows you to say, do not train on my data. So that way, if you search for anything that you just don't want the world to know about, it's almost like being incognito mode. But when you have customer information or anything sensitive you want to discuss, you know, as a therapist, you may want to say, you know, the wife is this and the husband is that, and here are their problems. We're never going to want to put their names. However, you would be able to, in theory, because of their practice of not training on that data. And what that would mean is that Mr. and Mrs. Smith are having a fight, and Mr. and Mrs. Famous Smith is having a fight, and I want to discuss how to work through it. If someone over here were to go, hey, what's Famous Mrs. Smith doing nowadays? You don't want to have this conversation show up. So that's by allowing it to train on your data, just like your uploaded image of the kid with the balloon. I get this now. Okay, what? I get Mrs. Smith is doing something right now? And now you have access to that information. So being aware of the ability to shut that off is very key. Question?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're well versed in it, but the legal ramifications of utilizing AI in terms of, specifically in terms of graphics and content and recreating that. You talked about royalty-free, which is not public domain.
Right.
Royalty-free, you pay for that. My example is for licensed music that I use in our video productions.
Yes.
Okay, it's called royalty-free because you will never have to pay any royalties based on the amount of times that you use it, or if you're broadcasting it in a broadcast market or using it on YouTube and things like that. So there's lots of legal ramifications to all of this. I'm not as well versed as you are in some of the legal ramifications. So I'm thinking, so for instance, let's say you used a platform called Canva to create content, right? They have an AI model that you can use to try to generate some imagery, okay? It's terrible, but, you know, especially on faces, it's just,
Yes.
it's just
And
horrible.
fingers extremely.
Fingers and things along those lines. But your license agreement with Canva, the platform of which you're looking for this material, you're paying for that. And within that licensing of using their platform, you're getting the right to utilize these artificial intelligent images, okay? I'm not sure if, and you have to use those images within a project that you're building on Canva. You can't just take that image that's been created, download it, and then use it as many times as you want. The legal ramification is that you must use it within a project, a completed project, right? So, you know, for ChatGPT, I mean, we use that all the time to fine-tune scripts and dialogue and things along those lines. It's fantastic. Of course, you have to humanize it afterwards, otherwise you can tell what it is. But, you know, I'm interested in knowing about more of the legal ramifications of using these different AI models. Or if you're paying, you know, in the free mode, or if you're paying for it, then maybe that's the license that allows you to use it, because it's through an organization that you're paying some type of fee or royalty to.
First of all, great question, and I want to open up by acknowledging, I'm going to make the last question, I'm going to wrap it up after this. Thank you. I was mistaken in saying royalty free, because that's not what it is. You're right, it's not royalty free when you're getting it from ChatGPT. It's just that it's open in the sense that there is no license associated with it. So that's the first correction. Thank you for that. Second, you're absolutely right. When you're creating something in Canva, whether you're using any images they present or anything, you cannot use it alone. So what that means is, say you're looking for an image of two people talking in an office, and you say, great, Canvas, this is a great image, I like it, download it. It won't let you, because it's it by itself. However, you throw a logo on top of it, and now it's yours. But that's the difference, because it's not it by itself. You remixed it. Strangely enough, same with DJs on YouTube, okay? DJs can play all the music, right? But certain DJs will get cut off during songs. Licensing. The way around that, the DJ will just talk over, yeah, guys, and yada, 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 or pew, 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 pew. What that does, it makes it new. It makes it a different version. Or if you play a beat on top of it, it's now a new version of the song, not the original. So that is how you're very right about the licensing and using people's platforms to export it, and their license agreements will be the one that you are under.
I just wanted to say to the group that, you know, if you are involved in finding images for, you know, to utilize, please just make sure that they're either licensed or you have the public domain, you have the usage rights, because in most every image there's an embed that the spiders on the internet, no matter where you put it, no matter how you reutilize it, you can save it as a different file. That information is going to be in there, and then the copyright holder will find you, and it's going to be a lot of money that you're going to have to pay, or to defend yourself. So in any of this, you have to be very. You should just
be careful.
Not steal copyrighted.
No, because that is absolutely right. And that little bit of water stamp is what can get you in trouble.
Wrap this
So.
up. If anybody has any other questions, you guys